What's going on, YouTube, fam? It's your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of Hood Tales, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. It's free. It helps get the video out there. Definitely watch this video to the end so you can hear the full story and all the details in the case. Everything in this video is alleged. For my day one fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Oh yeah, feel free to share the channel with your peoples. Everybody is welcome. With that being said, let's get right into the story. When you are young and in love, that can be a beautiful thing and a wonderful feeling. Knowing you have somebody that has your back in this cold world and loves you unconditionally. I know for a lot of people after high school, all the puppy love stages and thinking you got your heart broke after a little teenage breakup. And by your early 20s, you now feel like you have lived and learned something about love, even though you are still green and wet behind the ears. But once we lock in on somebody and feel like it's real, for some people, they think to themselves, this will be forever. Especially if it gets super serious to the point y'all choose to combine lives and move in together. In most young couples' minds, that seems like relationship goals. Find you a solid partner, y'all grind together, get a place. If y'all choose to have kids, now you have a family. And it seems like it's just y'all against the world. But when you make that commitment of being around somebody every day and night, that's when things get real. They say you never really know a person until you live with them. And now you can see all their flaws. And they can see yours as well. Some learn how to meet in the middle, come to a common ground on how they want to live and coexist to make things work. But sometimes things don't play out like that. The relationship and living arrangements just might not work out. And when feelings are involved, sometimes when things come to an end, they could turn fatal. And on this episode of Hood Tales, we'll be taking it to Spartanburg, South Carolina to discuss the case of a woman whose boyfriend put her out his house, so she took his life. Back in 2023, 21-year-old TyQuirez Sims was just a young man navigating life in the Carolinas. Born and raised in Spartanburg, he was very well known by his community, known by family and friends as TQ. The young man was described as funny, someone who loved to joke, compassionate and loving as he came from a tight-knit family and focused on making something of himself. To make a living, he drove forklifts, but in his downtime, he liked to vibe with close friends, listen to music, and he had just found himself having a new hobby, which was screaming. But his number one focus was being a good father to his son, who was only 6 months old. TQ wasn't with his baby mother, but he wasn't a slouch though. He made sure he took care of his baby boy. At just 21 years old, he even had his own place, an apartment by the college, USC upstate. He wanted to set an example for his little brothers since he was the oldest. But TQ, being young and focused with some motion, it wouldn't take long for him to find himself a partner. And he was in a new relationship with a young lady at the time, 23-year-old Zaria Owens. Zaria was described as being outgoing, a pretty young lady who had a 3-year-old son. But her and TQ locked in fast and started making plans for the future. He accepted the fact she had a son, and she respected the fact he did as well. The two moved pretty fast, and in no time, Zaria had moved into his apartment with her son. It started out as all love. The young couple were excited to be around each other all the time and optimistic about the future. But for whatever reasons, that was short-lived, and somewhere in the mix, their relationship turned into arguments and frustration. TQ, feeling like he wasn't obligated since Zaria wasn't his wife or even the mother of his child, felt why live like this when I can simply tell her she has to get out my spot since it's not working. It seemed like things had ran its course. And on a hot summer night, August 22nd, 2023, the two were at the apartment when another argument started. It's not clear what it was about, but it would come to a head when TQ simply told Zaria, like, all right, I'm tired of you. Grab your stuff, roll out, get out my place. but it seemed like she wasn't feeling that. But TQ was serious. As he started moving stuff around, telling Zaria, like, bye bro, you gotta go. She grabbed his handgun and his cell phone. TQ, realizing she had his stuff, told her, like, stop playing, give me my phone and gun. As Zaria was now outside, TQ had picked up her son, walked over by her car to give her her baby. As he put the little boy down, a single shot went off, and the car soon fled the scene. Just after 9 p.m. on a summer night, witnesses called local police, who responded to the scene to find TQ suffering from a single gunshot wound to the head, and unfortunately, he wouldn't survive his injuries. Witnesses and neighbors told police he was arguing with a woman, and one of his friends stated it was his girlfriend Zaria, who was now a suspect. As police canvassed the neighborhood and the area, they found her car nearby, but the young lady was MIA. The next day though, to their surprise, Zaria walked into a local police station to turn herself in. She confessed to shooting her boyfriend, but claimed it was all in self-defense because TQ was yoking her up and about to put hands on her. But witnesses had already told police she shot from a distance. TQ never touched the young lady. That's when Zaria switched the story and claimed, yeah, she took her boyfriend's phone and gun to make him mad. But when he brought her son to the car, she claimed TQ pushed him towards her and the young boy stumbled, which made her mad, so she shot. With that, she was taken into custody, charged with first-degree hit and handgun violations. As the news came out, people who knew the couple were shocked, describing Zaria as a sweet young lady and TQ as a nice and humble young man. As the case made its way to court this month, Zaria would catch a break as her charges was dropped from first degree to voluntary manslaughter, in which with her confession, she was found guilty and at 25 years old, sentenced to 21 years in prison. Rest in peace to TQ. I send my prayers and condolences to his family, especially his son, who lost his father so young. Zaria crashed out because her feelings was hurt. Her boyfriend was putting her out his house, but instead of taking her son, just leaving, maybe letting the situation calm down and talking about it later, she wanted to be petty and take Shorty's stuff. Then that quick, the pettiness turned to anger, then resentment. Then she shot, taking TQ's life in front of her son, traumatizing him, and throwing her own life away for years. But I want to leave this one open for discussion, fam. I want to know y'all thoughts on the situation. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. And remember, we got to succeed, not to fail, so we won't be just another hood tale. Yeah, man, this is a super crazy story. Rest in peace to that young man. I definitely send my prayers to his family. But I ain't going to talk too much more about this one. Y'all leave it in the comments. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. Y'all already know it's all love, fam. This is another episode of Hood Tales. This your boy Tony 2 times. I'm out.